Is something that I would be open for. It just gotta feel like I'm not chasing it.
Y'all, Tamera Mowry is out here low-key shading her own sister, and fans think it's all about Cory Hardrict. Remember when Tia said she felt alone for the first time after splitting from Cory, and even admitted she and Tamera weren't that close anymore? Well, sis just threw some slick comments that got everybody talking, like, is she clowning Tia for trying to spin the block with Cory? And to make it worse, Cory Hardrict himself just popped out with a mystery woman, after swearing up and down in interviews that he wasn't ready to date. He went from, I need time to heal, to soft launching a whole new relationship. Now fans are convinced the Mowry sisters are shading each other while Cory is out here moving on. In case you missed it, or don't remember, Tia Mowry opened up in an InStyle interview, saying she felt alone for the very first time after her divorce. And she wasn't just talking about Cory. She admitted she and Tamera weren't even that close anymore. Like, imagine being a twin, your built-in bestie since birth, and suddenly you're not on the same page. That revelation shocked fans. People were like, wait, Tia and Tamera aren't as inseparable as we thought? And guys, here's the clip where Tia herself admits that after the divorce, even her bond with Tamera wasn't the same.
I know. I didn't know until I found out with the rest of the world.
Any chance we'll see you on there?
She didn't ask me.
And I believe dating.
Now, Tamera hasn't dragged her sister outright, but fans think her recent comments have shade written all over them. In her own interviews, she's been hinting about boundaries, growth, and not running back to old situations. And when you line that up with the timing of Tia and Cory's headlines, people can't help but connect the dots. As y'all can see, Tia's out here in her self-love era, but allegedly still reaching back for Cory, while Tamera's on the sidelines, rolling her eyes. And here's where things get interesting. After the divorce, Cory did a few podcast appearances where he made it very clear that he wasn't ready for another relationship. He said his focus was on healing and being a dad. Honestly, it sounded like he was trying to keep things low-key. In one of those podcasts, Cory laid it all out, saying he wasn't chasing a new relationship and was only focused on his kids.
Dating is something that I would be open for. It just gotta feel like I'm not.
But that's exactly why fans are side-eyeing these new rumors even harder. Because how do you go from saying all that to suddenly being linked to a mystery woman? The talk online is that Cory's got an alleged new boo, though no photos have surfaced yet. Nothing's confirmed, but the timing alone has people raising their eyebrows. He went from saying he needed time to heal to allegedly being linked with someone new. It creates a whole new narrative, because while Tia's been open about her self-love journey and how hard it's been adjusting to being alone, Cory might already be quietly stepping into another chapter. And since he's been so private since the split, even a small rumor like this feels loud, whether it's true or not. The idea of Cory moving on while Tia's name is back in headlines alongside her sister makes the situation messy in a way no one saw coming. But to really understand why all of this hits so differently, we've got to rewind to the beginning of Tia and Cory's love story, because their history explains exactly why this new chapter stings so much. As y'all probably know, Tia and Cory weren't just some random Hollywood couple. Their story actually began way back in 2005, on the set of a small indie film. Tia was already a household name thanks to Sister, and Cory was just getting started. At first, they were just friends. Tia even gave him rides home after work, and that friendship slowly turned into something real. By Christmas 2006, Cory proposed, and 2 years later, they tied the knot. For years, people thought they had it all figured out. 2 kids, beautiful family photos, red carpet moments, the whole Black Love Goals package. On social media and in interviews, they came across like the couple who had cracked the code.
Chasing it is kind of coming to me, you know? And right now, it's just like I'm still trying to figure out who I am right now, you know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing. While it looked perfect from the outside, Tia later admitted she was losing herself in the process. She wasn't calling Cory a villain or trying to paint him in a bad light. She just realized she'd been pouring into everyone else and forgetting about herself. That's what ultimately led her to file for divorce in 2022, saying it wasn't about failure. It was about choosing happiness.
Sometimes it just feels, the idea of it feels frightening. Like you just walking down the street and holding somebody else's hand or, you know.
And that's why these new rumors about Cory moving on cut even deeper. Because Tia's whole awakening was about finally putting herself first. And now, Cory might be showing the world that he's already stepped into another chapter. It makes it seem like they weren't on the same page, even at the very end. And if that wasn't enough, just wait until you see how their post-divorce lives went in completely opposite directions. By April 2023, everything was finalized. They agreed on joint custody of their 2 kids. Cree and Cairo, no messy court battles, no shady Instagram posts, just 2 parents trying to figure out their new reality. Tia even let cameras into that reality with her show Tia Mowry, My Next Act. She opened up about what it felt like to suddenly be single after more than a decade of marriage, and it wasn't all glam. She admitted it was lonely, scary, and something she had never experienced before.
The most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close, and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not.
Meanwhile, Cory took the opposite approach. He stayed private. The most he ever said publicly was that it's all about love for the kids, and that he didn't want to get caught up in any noise or drama. That made it seem like he was healing quietly, while Tia was out here processing everything in the spotlight. But now, with rumors about him possibly seeing someone new, it feels like all that silence was leading somewhere, and the timing only fuels the idea that Cory may have already moved forward while Tia is still processing it all. This is exactly why fans are paying extra attention to Tamera's little comments. Because if Cory's got a new chapter, what does that mean for Tia trying to circle back? See, this is where things start to make sense. Tia and Cory weren't just some short-term Hollywood couple. They spent nearly 14 years married and almost 2 decades building a life together. That kind of history doesn't just disappear when the papers are signed.
Different. I've been doing that over here. Happy, sad, whatever. Switching it up is just
right. I mean, I haven't done that yet, so it just sometimes it just feels the idea of it feels frightening.
Then there's the family piece. As I mentioned earlier, Tia and Cory share 2 kids, Cree and Cairo, and anyone who's been through a divorce knows just how tough co-parenting can be. Watching your kids go back and forth between 2 homes, splitting holidays and trying to keep things feeling normal, it takes a toll. For some parents, that pull to give their kids the whole family again is almost impossible to ignore. Tia might feel that tug every single time she sees Cory stepping into dad mode.
She knows ins and outs, everything. She knows it all. So it's like, I'd rather share that with somebody, for the rest of my life than someone who don't know you, and then when everything, just save everything.
All right, now let's talk about loneliness. Divorce can be freeing, but it can also be incredibly isolating. Tia was very open about how hard it was to be single for the first time in her life. And no matter how much she talked about self-love and independence, those quiet nights alone hit differently. It's natural to start asking yourself, was it really that bad? Could we make it work now? Cory's behavior after the divorce also plays a big role in that feeling. Unlike so many messy Hollywood splits, he kept things respectful. He didn't trash her in the media, didn't run to blogs, didn't humiliate her publicly. Compared to other breakups we've seen, that kind of silence comes across as maturity, and it might make Tia second guess whether she walked away too soon. This next clip really shows the mindset Cory had, choosing peace over drama, even when he easily could have gone the other way.
Thing was great. You don't know if it's genuine. You don't know. You don't know if it's real. At least I know Tia got my back, to the grave. So I know she's with me, and she knows I'm with her.
And let's be real, dating again in your 40s, especially in the spotlight, is rough. Tia spent more than a decade as someone's wife, and jumping back into the dating pool with strangers, while the cameras are watching, has to feel exhausting. It's a lot less scary to revisit someone you already know than to start from scratch with someone new.
Everything starts and ends with love,
Yeah.
And we a family, you know what I'm saying? We're a family. No matter what people say, I block out the noise. At least I block out all the noise. And
when someone cuts off nostalgia cold turkey, it's their way of saying, I'm not stuck in the past. Then there's the way Cory's been shifting his brand. Instead of being known as Tia's husband, he's been leaning into his acting grind, showing up at premieres solo and rebuilding his name from the ground up. Feels like he's reclaiming his identity, separate from the marriage, almost as if he's reminding everyone, I have my own storyline.
It's crazy chemistry that we need for the protagonist, antagonist, and who.
Co-parenting, strictly business. No playful, friendly ex-selfies. No family posts together. Just showing up when it's about the kids and keeping everything else private. That alone speaks volumes. And let's not ignore the new social circle. Cory's been spotted connecting with fresh faces in the industry, expanding his network. When someone starts swapping out the old circles tied to their ex, it's a clear sign they're building a brand new lifestyle.
You know, that energy was already there, and it just carried over to the film, even though we played two opposites.
He's also pushing the career-first narrative. Cory's made it clear he's focusing on himself, his work, and his personal growth. The fact that he avoids personal interviews but hypes up his projects says it all. My ex isn't my headline anymore.
Top it all off with subtle flexing, whether it's gym upgrades, new fit.
And then there's the body language. Fans always notice that. If they end up in the same space and he keeps his distance, avoids eye contact, and shows no warmth, that's the loudest message without saying a word. Remember that time they crossed paths at a red carpet event? Just look at how awkward it was. Meanwhile, Tamera's been throwing shade from the sidelines, making it clear she doesn't support her sister looking back. Then there's Cory, silent, focused, and allegedly entertaining someone new. He's building his own image, carving out a separate identity, and moving with the kind of distance that says he's already closed that chapter. Every move he makes, from staying private to flexing his growth, shows he's not interested. In playing the role of Tia's ex who might come back, he's already positioning himself in a new lane. So now you've got three storylines running at once. Tia's nostalgia, Tamera's clowning, and Cory's quiet reset. It's messy. It's complicated. And it's definitely not the clean, happy ending fans once thought they'd see. That's where it all lands. Tia reaching back into the past, just as Cory steps firmly into the future.